They do a lot of those things. They do a lot of those things like that up there.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something they should experience. But how is that? Because I know like a big thing in like delivery and commerce is that last mile delivery. Like, what do you see the solution for that last mile?
Yeah, I'm really excited, and we can talk a little bit about it here. And obviously go to gobrightline.com and sign up and subscribe to our email list so you can get all the juicy updates. But one of the things that when the team was running in 2019, the feedback that we got was like the biggest friction to coming back or riding again was first and last mile. Like, how do I get to the station? I chose West Palm because it was closest, but if I would have chosen Fort Lauderdale if I knew how to get to Las Olas from the station, whatever it was. And so we really tried to reimagine how we serve our customers by thinking about the total trip, not just station to station. And what we'd like to be able to do is make sure that we are integrating with other modes and offering our own set of services to connect people from their house to the station or from their station to the final destination. So that includes, bikes and scooters, private car service, shared car service, and we'll be able to talk about all that a little bit more in the next 30 days or so, but I'm really excited about it. I'm also really excited to see how people use it. If you can look at a single application, plan your entire trip, and whether it's one mode or two modes or three modes, I think that helps people make the transition from like, oh, the keys are in my pocket, the cars are in the driveway, to like, oh, I can get to Fort Lauderdale, I can get to like my grandma's house, and I know how to do all that. So we're really excited to bring that concept to life. And it's not going to be easy, right? Give us a little bit of grace as we launch it, but it's ambitious, and I think everyone here in Miami is certainly on the side of the ambitious.
Yeah, that's going to solve so much. That the biggest complaint here is that it's
right.
like moving around and how difficult that can be. I think you get stuck in Wynwood and in Brickell, and you realize that really quickly. Like, I lived in Edgewater, and there weren't always a scooter around. I necessarily did not want to ride a scooter.
Right, it's not super safe all the time, right?
Like, death stick.
I busted my ass one time on the scooter. I also had a drink after the arena. It was one, whatever.
They don't even allow the scooters in Wynwood because they're like, no. Like, there would be a death a day.
Like, not to shit on scooters, but like that's a huge problem in Miami. Like, I ride a scooter, but like you cross the wrong block and it like shuts down. You cross the other block and it like goes slow. Like,
God, I didn't even know that.
So annoying.
Yeah. I've only taken it for short distances.
But if you taking, Chris talking about Wynwood, like I think it's like on one side of Miami Avenue, it's fine, and on the other side, it's like, whoa, you can't go here. You're like, well,
I know.
Who told me this? Like, what am I supposed to do?
I know. Well, I see it because Wynwood has that little bit of that lawlessness, I think, to it. Like, and I think that, I think it would definitely, it would not be a good idea to just let everyone run around Wynwood because it's already congested. I mean, pretty much every day looks like Wynwood, what art walks used to look like 10 years ago.
Right, but don't you think like Wynwood as a place, like what if you took the cars out of it? Like the reason why the scooters don't work
That's a good idea.
is because like it is lawlessness.
Shut down second.
There's no kind of pedestrian area, and like there's nothing like slowing cars down there. So it is a death stick, right? Whether you're on a bike or you're trying to cross the street, you're just like, is this guy going to stop for me or is he going to go 50 miles an hour? When like it should be a pedestrian right away through there. Like how much more would that activate the space if it was like you close down Second Avenue, you close down some of this, it's scooter, bikes, it's walking. Like I think it's made for that. And I don't think we're ambitious enough in how we think about our roadways.
Yeah, and then there's not enough space for everything that we're adding, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got all these little small, oh my God, this is a new thing on the beach. It's been like for a while. What do you call those? Slingshots. It's like have you seen it? It's
like the one wheel?
It's like, I think it's one in the front and two in the back. And it's called the slingshot.
Oh,
and it's open.
It's like a car almost. It's like
open.
Big motorcycle.
Yeah, it's like a giant motorcycle, and they're like just like all over, and they're bright green and bright blue, and they're just so tacky. And then these people are.
They look awesome.
I'm convinced these people just believe that they look so cool, and they're like some celebrity, and they're just taking up the entire like lane, and they're driving fast, and I'm like, what the heck?
I'll take that over the cement trucks with the 12s in the back with playing the loud music.
But that's the problem.
Wynwood.
It's like you have so many different like
modes.
And then there's also these little tiny ones, I guess for the people that can afford those, that are like really, really small cars, and they look like for children, and they have a motor. They're in like the street. So on the beach side, you guys may not experience this much on this side, but the slingshots are in Wynwood.
Starting to come over here.
Yeah. So that's more traffic on just like tourist,
Yeah.
like, because it's also most of it is tourist traffic,
Right.
but it's really annoying. It's like we need space, guys. Like,
Yeah.
give us room. And then you've got the bikes, and then you've got the people on the scooters,
Yeah.
the people rollerblading. Like, it's a lot.
Well, I think that right there is like the shift that is hard to make is like what's our space for, right? It's for people, not for vehicles, right? And so if cars are going to take up the most space, like even your slingshot takes up like a little less space, and it's probably annoying because of the high CCs or whatever. But like how do we design those spaces for people? Because that's like where that's who's going to buy stuff. That's who's going to keep your local shops in business, your restaurants in business. So that's I think that is just kind of like how we need to think about it.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, what's up with the? I read about a company that got funded. I forget the name of it, but it was probably like 6 months ago. That's doing like, they're basically like planes, but they're like on the water. They're like amphibious aircraft. Somehow
I
they're
don't
transporting
know.
people on the water. Have you heard of this?
No, but I have not. What can you tell me? What else? What more did you know?
That's kind of the.
That's it. So I'll tell you the companies that we've talked to are the electric vertical takeoff and landing companies like Joby. Have you guys seen these? So obviously
like a jump jet,
like air taxis, which have been promised like I feel like as long as we've been promising autonomous vehicles, and probably are both still like very far off in the distance. But it's like basically like 4-passenger electronic vertical and takeoff and landing from like any type of parking garage to any type of parking garage. And so they seat like 2 to 6 people, and there's different like Archer's a company, Joby's a company that are promising this. And obviously Miami with the mayor is trying to bring them all here to do their pilots. And I think that could be super cool, but it's not like a mass, like people are going to do it. They're going to pay a couple $100 to go from like downtown to South Beach for the arrival of South Beach, right? To like show up in your air taxi, right? Get into your blue tacky slingshot, right? And like cruise out, right?
Yeah,
like,
I was on a call with the city, and it was with Asin Aero.
Okay.
Aero. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
And it's like urban air mobility. It's really what it is. And it's flying machines that transport passengers.
Right.
Like it's interesting, and they have a lot of information. It's being done. It's just quite an investment.
Well,
and some risk too, but they're also having that discussion. The city is like highly engaged on these discussions. On air mobility.
Well, so what do you think?
How do we
handicap it for me. Like, when are we seeing an air taxi? Like, what, in your opinion?
I know it's gonna be a long time before I get on one.
You had to bet your NFT ring
They're
on
already
when we were going to see an air taxi.
I think as soon as 2 years. Maybe,
2 years?
Yes.
Okay.
I think as soon, based on the call that I was on. And the information that was being proposed, like. What I think they're going to work on doing first is using it for transport really quick to test it out with like delivering items. Like Amazon was talking about like using drones, right? So they're going to use it for transport first so they can really test it. And then with air taxi for people, right? But I think what they're working on is like how high end is that going to be? Right.
Well, I think about like how many of those could you get in the air? Like, could you ever have like 1,000 air taxis like moving around downtown Miami? Like,
I think
what?
so. Automated air traffic control, and just don't let the two dots touch.
We can't even get like autonomous cars that are like on the ground. This is adding a third dimension into that. Like,
but there's nothing. But like, I think the hard thing about autonomous cars is like the people, the drivers that getting in the way. There's nothing in the way out there. Just get the scare the birds somehow.
But it avoids huge infrastructure projects,
right?
And it's still lower emissions.
They're
electric,
right?
I don't know. I'm not against it. I'm kind of liking it. I'm giving you something that's competition.
I'm not against it either. I don't think, and I think for us it's a great partnership, right? It's in the same way we think about first and last
partnership. Mile. No, it sounds like a good acquisition, man. I want like a
train,
Brightline on air and on water.
Roof opens up.
Get the water, so we'll get with Champ and we'll get the details.
Right.
So Brightline air, water, land.
Air, water, land. Oh, we got it. I mean, we do want to think about our stations as like really innovative mobility hubs. So whether that's like the largest electric charging infrastructure or partnering with one of these air taxi companies. So you could go like, hey, I want to go from West Palm to South Beach, and like we give you an option. Once you get to the Miami station, you either can take like a private Tesla, a shared vehicle, or an air taxi, right? Would be amazing. I just Yeah.
Okay, I found this company, by the way.
Okay,
It
excellent.
was killing me, so I had to Google it. It's called regentcraft.com.
Regent Craft.
And
Give us the headlines.
Okay, the headline is Coastal Travel. It's 100% electric. It looks like a seaplane, and so I guess somehow because they don't so it is a seaplane, but it doesn't actually go more than like, I don't know, 10 or 20 feet off the water, and so
Okay.
maybe it gets around FAA regulations that way or something.
Uh-huh.
It's essentially a boat, but because it's not in the water, it can go ultra fast, and it looks like it goes
Not as much
180 miles
drag.
per hour. Yeah, so it has a low drag, completely electric. Says they can do.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that
that
thing
looks
looks
sick.
that thing looks
Nice.
tasty.
Yeah.
We
Are
just
you
looked at
looking
it.
It looks pretty. It looks pretty
Yeah,
sick.
oh,
Right?
it looks
Look at that.
really
Looks
nice.
Look at that.
really sick.
8 props.
Where do you think are they saying where they're going to try to launch this or pilot it, or they found like a location?
Well, I feel like when I read about it, they were talking about Miami, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I just imagined that.
There's so much
But
opportunity.
then I'd see them talking about like New York to Hamptons, Boston
Yeah.
to Nantucket, that kind of like, do I drive? Do I take a private plane? Do I take a ferry? Question mark. And it
Right.
sounds like they can do it faster than all of those and potentially cheaper, which
That
is
would be
interesting.
amazing. I mean, you got to give, significant props to the Miami mayor and the team here. Like, just the fact that they are been so outwardly open to all of this means that people like this, that have ideas, that want to bring it here, are like trying to bring to Miami first, right? Like,
Yeah. Especially now.
right? And you go to New York or something, the first thing they'll tell you is like, here's the 10 reasons you can't do it, right? Or here's
Yeah, you need a
8
medallion.
right? Yeah, well, that worked out.
Yeah.
And so like I do think like it would be great if like Miami kept like this crown of like, being open to new mobility options. I think it creates a lot of different space.
Yeah, we're just open-minded.
Yeah.
So how do you market? Like,